I think the heat he got was a lot more because he was front and center with Trump. And the response people are going to say is, yeah, but what about Undertaker? First of all, Undertaker didn't come out and cut a promo.
Nope.
Undertaker rode in on a motorcycle, did a lap, and waved goodbye.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine. I'm your host, Mac Davis, and along with me is my co-host each and every single week. He is a WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy.
Listen, why don't you just relax, okay? That's what I'm saying. Just calm down and relax, okay?
Chill out a little bit, yeah. Hey, we got a special guest with us today, Teddy, because Bill couldn't make it. You know, Bill's on one of his assignments that he goes on all the time.
Let's not even talk about him. Let's talk about the guest.
Well, let's do that. Our guest filling in this week for Bill is somebody who is a very special guest. He's been with Teddy and I on our own program on Road Trip After Hours, and he is another Hall of Famer. He is a former executive producer and senior vice president of WCW. He's also the general manager, or was the general manager for WWE's Raw brand, and executive producer of TNA Impact. I could go on and on because that's just in wrestling. Currently, though, he does host a variety of podcasts and shows, including 83 Weeks. Eric Bischoff. Hey, Eric.
How are you guys? That was a hell of a build-up. Mac, you got a radio voice, man. You must have been a radio all your life before you started hooking up with Teddy.
I was 30 plus years, brother.
Man, because I was just thinking, I'm sitting there thinking, you know, I'll buy insurance, I'll buy a car from that guy, I'll buy a vacuum cleaner, whatever he's selling, I'm going to buy it.
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.
Well, Eric, I'm glad you're on the show today, especially because we want to talk about what happened on Netflix and Monday Night Raw's debut. And one of the events that happened on that program was one that, as soon as I saw it, my mind started thinking, what does someone like Eric Bischoff think as this is going down? And that's when Hulk Hogan made his appearance. When you saw the crowd reaction, the boos that came and just hitting one after the other, as a friend, how was that for you to watch?
I felt it because I've been there, you know, maybe not like that. Obviously, you know, I was never over like Hulk Hogan, nor have I ever had an audience turn on me necessarily, on my character like that. I was used to people booing me all the time. The more they booed, the happier I was. So I can imagine what it would be like if I would have walked out there and somebody would have cheered. Like, oh, my career's over. What did I do wrong? I'm going to get fired. Wow. But I felt for him. I could see there was a couple seconds there where I could see the wheels turning in his head.
Yep.
And for a brief moment, he didn't know what to do. I've been there. Different circumstances, but I've been there. And I'm sure Teddy has too, man. When for whatever reason, because of something happening that you didn't expect, or something not happening that you did expect, or any combination of that, you can be out there by yourself and there's a brief moment where you feel like you're standing out there in your underwear because you don't know what to do.
The kind of hate that you would get, though, when you were in the ring was mainly character heat. There's a big difference, though, when the heat is when the heat seems to be very real, go away heat, and that's what it almost felt like with Hogan. Was it just a bad placement of him in the wrong place, the wrong time?
Look, I haven't talked about this with anybody, and I decided I wasn't going to talk about it too much. But you guys are fair, and we've done this stuff together. You know, I'm not here to pump any smoke up anybody's ass or anything else.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. This is how I feel. And people can disagree with me all they want, and they may not be wrong. I don't know. I've gotten to the point in my life where I tend not to judge people. Judge not lest you be judged. You know, that was like my first wake-up call. And I just think about my own life and all the stupid shit I've done and the mean things I've done or the hurtful things I've done or said with no intention of even doing it.
Yeah.
Just because you're young, you're stupid, you're inconsiderate. I'll make myself, I was young, I was stupid, I was inconsiderate, and you're just immature. And look, history is history. What happened. You can't make excuses for it. I just know the guy.
Yep.
And I know what he's about and what he's not about. And I think the reaction he got out there, specifically in Los Angeles, and this is the part that people are going to argue about, but I don't really care. Less than a month ago or 2 months ago, whenever it was, 2 months ago, Hulk Hogan in character, in complete character, went out there and campaigned for a Republican who happened to be Donald Trump.
Yep.
I was in Los Angeles on November 6th on business. It was like the Walking Dead walking around Los Angeles. People were so depressed. And, you know, our country's split 50-50, whatever it is, 51-49, blah, blah. Not in Los Angeles, it's not.
No.
Politics is part of culture, and their culture has become their religion. And I think because Hulk, and I'm saying there wasn't heat from some of the other mistakes he's made in his life, not just the one that everybody talks about, but he's made others. I don't know anybody who hasn't. But I think the heat he got was a lot more because he was front and center with Trump. And the response people are going to say is, yeah, but what about Undertaker? First of all, Undertaker didn't come out and cut a promo.
Nope.
Undertaker rode in on a motorcycle, did a lap, and waved goodbye. It's a different scenario. Yes, Taker interviewed Donald Trump. Taker makes no bones about the fact that he's a conservative. But Undertaker wasn't out there in his full gimmick campaigning for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump in this case.
Yeah.
So people want to go right to the controversy. I think that's part of it. I don't think it's all of it. I think a lot of it, to your question, it's a long-winded way to answer it, brother, and I apologize, but I wanted to be honest about it. Some of it had to do with his past. A lot of it had to do with his present.
Got you. Yeah, and I hate to see that. And go ahead, Teddy.
Let me speak on that too, and to say this and let Eric know too. Hogan, is a great guy. I had the opportunity to be with him back when the NWO started, with him, Kevin Sullivan, God rest his soul. And Hogan was always somebody, he pulled me off, and he would always talk to me and tell me stuff that I needed to know and needed to hear. The last time I saw Hogan was at a TV there, and the last time I saw him, he called me from way across the arena to introduce me to his new wife. He didn't have to do that, you know what I mean? So I look at things like that, you know what I mean? If he took that much time to call me and want me to meet his new wife, then you know what I mean? He's showing me, hey, I got no problem with you. So my thing is this, you got to understand California is full of liberals. Okay, so you got to understand that politics is really playing a lot, in what's going on in our country right now. So if I was Hogan, you know what I mean? Just, there's no apology. You shouldn't apologize to anybody because he didn't do anything. You know what I mean? But you just got to watch what you do and watch who you associate with now and what you say. Because, somebody will take one little thing and they'll twist that, brother, and the next thing you know, it'll be a movie.
Well, you know what, Teddy, and I appreciate you saying that. And I know Hulk would as well. But what's really interesting is, this is me. I'm going to do exactly what I shred other people for doing, which is making a statement with perfect 20/20 hindsight. Like, you can solve any problem in the world after it's over, right? But I thought it was a little weird that they did it in Los Angeles. I'm surprised somebody didn't say, because it's so obvious. Politics are so obvious in California. If you wear a Trump hat, not even MAGA, just a Trump hat around LA, you're going to get your ass kicked or thrown out of a restaurant, or Ubers won't pick you up. It's really nasty there, right? I'm surprised they put him out there.
I am too. That's the one thing I was going to come back around to that I just thought it was bad placement. It was the wrong time, wrong place. I'm sure that they probably did it for Netflix and for the officials and all the stars that were going to be there. So they wanted him there, but somebody needed to pull it back and go, no, this is not a good idea.
I think it was a surprise to all of them because I don't think they would have ever believed that Hogan would have got that kind of reception when he walked out. I don't think they believed that. So I think that was a total surprise.
You know what else is a surprise? And one of the reasons I agree with you, Teddy, and my point is they shouldn't have been surprised, and somebody should have been thinking a couple steps ahead. That's what you get paid the big bucks for, is to be able to look in the crystal ball and get some shit right every once in a while.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if they would have put him in Denver, Chicago, anywhere else, it probably would have been different. But here's what threw me for a loop, because I'm so close with Hulk. We talk maybe once a month or so, or send a video or text or something. But I got some texts and some videos from some of his appearances. He's all over the country promoting this beer. I mean, he's on the road 5 days a week. It's shocking to me, actually. But every time I get a video, there are people lined up around the block. I mean, it's actually more of a turnout, or at least as excited of a turnout as he ever got before. But he didn't get it in that arena that night. He got the opposite.
Knowing him as well as you do.
Wrong place, wrong time.
There you go.
Knowing him as well as you do, what do you think his reaction was personally as he got? I mean, I can imagine sitting on stage just counting the seconds. I got to get out of here now.
No, you don't run from it. You don't run from it. Okay,
I don't say you run from it, but I'm sure there was some editing at some point going, I got to cut this short because the crowd's not with me at this point.
Well, you know what?
No, we don't think that way. We don't think that way. Let me stop you right now. When the crowd shits on you like they did him, then you start to regroup. You understand? That's what we do. We regroup then, and then we find out, now we know how they're going to accept me. So now let me show you how you need to accept me.
And Teddy is so correct on that. And if you want to see how correct Teddy is, go back and if you can watch that footage, he makes his entrance. I don't think the crowd really started. Now, I couldn't hardly hear the boos on my television, so that you could tell they must have been trying to mess with the audio for the home viewing audience a little bit.
Yep.
I could tell what was going on, but I couldn't hear really the intensity of it, which made me focus on what Hulk was doing. I was watching his body language. So to prove Teddy's point or illustrate it, Hulk walks out. Initially, I don't think he understood what was happening. By the time he got there and he got out his first couple words and they came over the top of him, if you watch him really closely, he's going to go through the process that Teddy just described. He stopped, he looked around, he looked to his right, and he looked to his left, and he downshifted into second, and he hit the gas and went.
You regroup.
Exactly. And if you watch his body language during that promo, you'll see how right Teddy is.
Yeah. I hated to see it altogether. I just thought that somebody as much of an icon as Hulk Hogan is for our business, to see the treatment like that, which, again, it felt real. It didn't feel like a character thing. It felt real. That bothered me quite a bit.
No, it was real.
Yeah. It was real. But you know what? Here, part of your question, Mac, was how do I think Terry's taking it? Hulk is taking it. I haven't talked to him since. I'll probably give him a shout this weekend. We may or may not connect, but I'm pretty sure I know. Hulk has really found his faith in a real and honest way, number one. And that has affected just about everything for him, including how he reacts, or really how he doesn't overreact.
Yep.
So I'm sure he was disappointed, frustrated, but after he got home, after he got back to his hotel or on his jet that night, by the time he got home, physically home, he was fine.